Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators, and I will be guiding us today. So, this is a beautiful little sentiment of metta that I drew, and on the back, the sentiment of loving kindness I wrote for this particular picture was, "May you see the color orange and feel peace." May you see the color orange and feel peace. In the Buddhist practice, one of the famous Dharma teachings is all about mindfulness. And there are 4 foundations, 4 areas that we can really bring wise concentration to: the body, the emotions, the thoughts, and the stories that we tell, the mental perceptions that we have. And you can appreciate that they are all linked. We have a sensation in the body that we feel, maybe a pain, a discomfort. Immediately our emotions are stirred and we might feel a little anxious by it. That can make the heart race a little bit. And then before we know it, we have thoughts about our discomfort, our heart racing, and our anxiety. And then, in a blink of an eye, we've got some story about what it all means. So, all of this is very human. All of this happens to everybody. And it's not about practicing in such a way that we don't have this experience. Practicing mindfulness and meditating on these foundations is a way of looking at these experiences with a degree of space and neutrality and curiosity, as opposed to getting really hooked and then spun out so that we act out in unskillful ways. You can pull apart each of these foundations and explore them and examine them deeply. And that's what we've been doing with the body. There are 6 practices to explore in the body: the breath, our posture, a contemplation that brings our awareness to the whole body as a living organism and its interconnectedness with life itself. The very specific body parts is another practice, looking at areas of the body that we don't even pay attention to. Last week we did a couple of meditations focusing on our fingertips. There's a practice that we're going to do today about the elements: earth, air, fire, and water, solidity, mobility, temperature, and fluidity. And then the 6th body practice is something called cemetery contemplations. And this is about the impermanence of the body itself. We are of the nature to grow old. We are of the nature to grow sick. We are of the nature to die, and to contemplate all of that. But today, I'd like to bring your attention and your awareness to the 4 elements. And one of the best teachers, I think, is Thich Nhat Hanh, for his reverence to the elements of the earth and the cosmos, of which you are. So when you think about the body and you think about how you evolved from the earth's ancient clay, and you think about the solidity in the body, what are the solid parts of you? Bones come to mind, teeth, when I think about earth and when I think about solidity, I think about things that are hard. But that might not be the whole truth. So let's take a moment and roam the miracle of your body and look for things that are solid. Look for things that maybe reflect the earth itself. If you've ever seen the nervous system dissected along the spinal column, coming from the spinal column and how they branch out, it's so reminiscent of seeing tree branches and their rooting systems. Allowing the element of air to capture your attention a little bit. And this is obvious in terms of our relationship to the breath, but it also connects to our capacity to be mobile, the ease with which we can move, especially when we compare moving in water, for instance, or muddy soil. We move without even thinking about it in air, and every time we do, we displace air molecules. We generate a different sort of energetic force. Take a moment to breathe in appreciation for non-polluted air or minimally polluted air, or wherever you are in the world, maybe it's moderately polluted air. Think about your lungs and their capacity to filter it. Think about the trees as the earth's lungs. Their survival is our survival. So when you move around this evening and tomorrow, take notice of the trees, your kin. By the way, you share 70% of DNA structure with the trees as well. We really are kin. And breathe. Allow your gaze to get curious about the element of fire. In the Mindfulness Sutra, this is referred to as temperature. And in a lot of Eastern traditions, temperature was associated with food. Different foods that heat the body or cool the body, shift the temperature for the body that in such a way that it creates conditions for a more solid, clear practice. One of the awarenesses that I enjoy in terms of temperature and even air is I bring my awareness to my cheeks and I just try to see if I can test the temperature. And right now it feels very neutral, almost like there's no temperature. I'm completely at ease. My cheeks are neither too warm or too cold. Whereas my hands are touching and they feel very warm. I know people who feel much more comfortable temperature-wise when their legs are warm. I'm way more comfortable when my core body is warm and my shoulders are warm. So I often wear shawls because the moment my shoulders are cold, my whole body tenses up. If my core body is cold, my whole body feels tight. So temperature, fire, warmth in the body can determine tension and relaxation. It's obvious, but we don't pay attention to it very often. Bring your awareness to the element of water and fluidity in the sutra. Obviously, staying hydrated is essential for our cells, which are constantly regenerating. Every second, thousands and thousands of cells. I think it's every 7 years, your whole body cellular structure has been remade. It's extraordinary how the body has a capacity to filter toxins. So on the journey of recovery, many of us have ingested toxic liquid that the body has filtered through and held, and we might have had experienced some damage in the body, and the body has self-regulated and repaired itself. And we're moving and shifting our habit energy away from that toward healthier options to stay hydrated, to stay cleansed. But the element of water invites us to move the body with a little bit of fluidity. Notice where we're rigid in our movements, fixed, and see if we can sway a little, add some suppleness to the body, very gently. And perhaps by embodying this fluidity in movement, we can invite the mind to have a little bit of fluidity as well, to shift perspective, to open to perspective. Maybe not. And just observe that too. Each of these elements are absolutely essential for life, our lives, all of life. We are completely dependent upon the earth, air, the sun, water. We are all of these elements, and so to spend some time complementing, considering them, and allowing them to complement the mind is a wonderful way to cultivate gratitude. It's a wonderful way to help us come out of that mind that can get really fixated, particularly toward the negative. And to open up and remember that we are so much more than our unskillful actions. We are so much more than our confusions. We are so much more than our appearance. We are the result of evolutionary magic. And that brings me to the fifth element, which is mystery. This sacred unfolding of life, which we don't actually fully understand, not even close, but being here is so rare. Being alive is so precious, albeit difficult and challenging. It is nevertheless precious. And so to be in this life as our whole true selves is to present to life itself a gift. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Walk upon the earth as if your feet are planting kisses on the ground." John O'Donohue said, "As you walk along the earth, should you stumble, may the earth rise to meet you. I simply want you to encourage you to dance to your own song in your own way upon this grand Mother Earth of which you are. And when you doubt, just turn your gaze to the cosmos and allow this thought to descend and wrap around you. And that is, you are so well loved. Let's go ahead and end our practice today with a dedication of merit. And I just encourage you to come back to the body, the foundation that we have been working with for several sessions now. Come back to the breath. Come back to the solidity and the fluidity, the mobility and the temperature of the body. Come back to your posture, the interconnectedness of your body and its unique individual expression. Choose it all. The doubt, the confidence, the isolation, the connection, the anger, the joy. By gaining access to this practice and by living it, breathing it, you bring forward transformative power, healing power for yourself and by extension, the whole wide world. You are benefiting people that you've never met. You're benefiting in ways that you'll never even know. In the spirit of the way of the Bodhisattva, may we all live to be of benefit to all beings. Such a simple vow and such a profound way to be present to your life. Thank you for your practice. We'll see you next time. Namaste.